Alright, welcome to another diecast 164 NASCAR diecast video. I am your host, Doug Mount, and I am building a few different cars today, working on a few different cars today, I should say. Today is February 18th, it's a Thursday, and so my reclamation project of this 2018 Bush's Best, if you recall, I had shipped this to a customer in a display case. Unfortunately, I didn't get the car securely affixed to the bottom of the display case. Came apart, banged around inside the case, nicked it up, and I just started all over again. So I'm back to the point now where I have taken the car apart and I'm getting ready to put a new set of decals on it. And it's this 2018 Chris Buescher Bush's Best Darlington car, number 37. And so yeah, it's not really that difficult of a car to make, but as with any custom, I mean, it's custom. That's what it is, and with that you can run into any sorts of issues. Okay, on this one, for some reason, it's taken me a little bit longer to work this. I was just having some paint issues. For some reason, when I would go to put that second coat of white on this thing, it would ripple on me. I didn't think I got too much on it, but whatever. I had to restart it twice. Yeah, so for whatever reason. And then when I was putting everything back together, I got a little chip here, right there. I got to fix the white chipped a little bit. And so yeah, happens. Stuff happens, as they say. And you have to just work through it. So this is a little weird because all of these decals here on the trunk lid, I'm going to push it all the way to the left, so the only decal that's messed up with these trunk pins is this one on the left, as opposed to both of them. So, and I've said this before, on this 2018 Chevy, the pins on this thing are really pronounced. You know, sometimes you get them like this where they're actually relatively flat, but on this one they really stick up quite a bit. And you just got to kind of work around it, like for that decal to stick down on top of that thing. These have been sitting in the water for a little while, so they're ready to roll. And I like to keep this back together. These decals here on the left, with this decal and all this, I like to try to keep it together if I can. These Camaros make it relatively easy to do that. Just the way the diecast body is set up, there's not a lot of ridges or anything like that. I do like to cut out the Camaro piece separately, and the other little ZL1 that goes on the side here. I think that kind of goes I don't want to say in no man's land, but it's not up here, it's not down here, it's kind of right in the middle almost. And then of course the Camaro goes across here. It is interesting to see, and we'll see what happens with NASCAR in the future, but a lot of manufacturers are going electric route and making promises to be all electric. by a certain future date. I wonder how that's going to impact NASCAR. If NASCAR is going to go that route, or if they're going to continue with where they're at. I don't know. I'm not sure NASCAR knows. I think they like kind of the setup that they have now. But in order for businesses to stay afloat, they kind of have to change with the times. So it'll be very interesting to see how NASCAR changes. At least I'm interested in that. I hope I'm around when that time comes. I think obviously in the near term they're going to continue with what they're doing with gasoline. But how would they do the electric, pit stops? Would they, instead of changing tires and adding fuel, would they be changing tires and swapping out batteries? I don't know. Wouldn't that be weird? So, unfortunately, and I really hate to say this, this is just the way I think. But I think NASCAR's best days are behind them. I don't want to be a prophet, but that's just how I think right now. We'll see. We'll see. Chase Elliott really needs to be the superstar, I think, and get that next generation of young people involved in the sport. Looks like I got this a little too low on the right. It's not too bad. So I decided to keep this together. Let's see if I can get that to line up nicely in there. Kind of tuck that up in there. Get these decals on, and I'll kind of go over some of the other cars I'm working. Again, I washed my hands right before doing this, so you can see how this is just a little big. Well, maybe it's more than a little. It really sticks out on both sides. Fuzzy there. Try to tuck that in there. That corner. Come on down. I hate when I do that. I get it close to being in place, and then as I'm pushing it in, I kind of shift it. Okay. Sometimes you just get it in place let it go. And the water that's there will kind of dry it up and help it shrink into place where it needs to go. Come on. Okay. I'm going to leave that be. Yeah, I think Chase is his race to lose this weekend at the road course. He's starting on the pole, and he's really good at this track. You know, obviously anything that's a road course, anything can happen. But I would say if he doesn't get like a top 3 finish, he's going to be really disappointed. We'll see. Anybody can spin him out if they can get to his rear bumper at the end. And, you know, he took out Blaney there, his buddy, to try to win the Busch Clash. So I bet you if Blaney is behind him, their friendship will be tested. Because if those two guys are the, you know, Ford and a Chevy, see how deep their friendship is when they start battling for championships and race wins and stuff like that. They can keep their cool about themselves. Non-points race is one thing when they are both going for it. But points race, a spot, guaranteed spot in the playoffs right here. We'll see. We'll see if they don't race each other a little bit differently. Because, I mean, I get requests for a lot of Blaney cars. I get requests for actually a lot of Kyle Busch cars, and I don't really get a request for a lot of Chase cars. I find that interesting, probably because Lionel produces so many of them. But definitely Blaney and Kyle Busch are the two that I've been getting the most for lately. Come on. There's this little overflow, little dot that is very odd. Those have been added to the decal design of late that I've seen on the decal sheets out of Mr. Pado's place. Okay. Alright, so I gotta just work these sides. It's not a very complicated paint scheme, obviously, just a lot of different decals to cut out. I decaled this recently, letting it dry. I had made one for my roofing friend, guy who did the roof on our house, and now I've made a second one. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the way it's turned out. Not too complicated. I think the only issues that I've run into this one are these little designs on the roof here, these little angle-shaped, 90-degree angle-shaped designs. They go around here, and there's supposed to be one here, and there's supposed to be one here, but the decal set doesn't come with that. It comes with this little line, which, they go here on the sides. But anyways, so it's not 100% like it. This kind of wraps around the back. It's a little loose here. I might have to get a little thing to hold that in place. But this trunk is a little bit of a problem because it's just tight. Right? Pace yourself, drink responsibly. And then this Jack Daniels comes around here. And the D is kind of, it's hanging over the edge a little bit. So kind of tuck that just a little bit there. And this is barely, I want to be able to read everything. So it's just a little tight. Just a little tight there. But yeah, that'll go on a display case. And we'll put that up here in a few days. What's today? Thursday. So that may go up on Sunday by the time I get that all done and pictured and presented. Okay, so let's talk about this. So these are the two NASCARs that I've made. One for Mr. IH and one for eBay. And one of them is going up on eBay tonight. So what I'm going to do, I've put, is it 3 coats? I think 3 coats of the clear sealer. And now I'm going to put a coat of the X22 on it. I actually painted the roof lines on these with my pen, my tester's pen, ever so carefully. Because, and I'll show you, I was able to do it because of this black here. And so I basically kind of angled it and went across ever so carefully this way. So it was a lot easier than if I was trying to paint black lines on something like that where I don't have black on either side and it's got to be perfectly straight. That's where I really like to use a Sharpie, my black Sharpie there. But here, because I have this black decal here, I've got a little grace, right? Little higher tolerance there, and was able to go across there and do that. And then of course I did the spoiler black. Everything else is pretty much as it was. I touched up a little bit down here because as I handle it, sometimes it rubs a little bit off. But now that I've got that done, I'm ready for a coat of the X22 on both of these. And then I'll give one to Mr. IH and put one up on eBay. So alright, I'll make sure my brush is completely dry here. This stuff has a pretty strong odor. To be honest with you. I like to put it on thick. Obviously not too thick. There's a level of thickness that you don't want to cross. And I kind of like to apply it quickly because it does dry quickly, and I don't want to smear it if I go over an area I've already done. So I think my wife is upstairs sweeping the floor, so if you hear that noise, that's what it is. Yeah. So I got my fan. I haven't installed it yet. My exhaust fan for my paint fumes, and I'm gonna have to do that because my wife's sensitivities for smelling has she's gotten a little bit more sensitive, I guess, of late. And so I'm trying to paint like early in the morning before she gets up. So it's not something that, she smells during the day. So I'm trying not to, paint until the wee hours of the morning when she's still sleeping. So it doesn't affect her. Or at least it doesn't affect her and she knows about it. So yeah, the cars that I have over here, these two are where I'm going to use the red chrome. And like I've said before, the red chrome paint, or just the chrome paint from Rust-Oleum, it stinks to high heaven. It's super strong. I mean, super strong. And I'm afraid to paint that even when she's sleeping, just because it's so potent. And so I want to get the fan installed and get it all wired up before I do that. So that's basically it. This stuff dries pretty quickly. I'll take a look at it once I let me turn this up just a little bit. I'll take a look at it after it dries and see if I need a second coat. Because sometimes, like I said, if it goes on good and it's got a nice smooth finish after one coat, since I've already have 3 coats of the clear sealer on it, I don't like to overlay it. I've seen customs that are like super thick. They have a super thick coating on it, and I don't know. To me, it looks a little too much. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to find that sweet spot between not enough and just right. As you can see, I go right over the windows, and I definitely try to not touch my brush to an area that's already done and dry, because it will kind of smear it, give it a smeared look, and then I definitely have to put a second coat on it. So try to be careful about that. Not always successful, but try to. Okay. So Mr. IH, we'll see when I'm done here, but I'm actually having a hard time figuring out which one of these is better than the other. I think they're both about the same, to be honest. I can't really find a whole lot of difference between these two cars. Typically I like to send, when I make two, I try to identify which one I think is better than the other one, and give that to the one who made the custom request. But in this case, they both seem to be pretty good, and I'm trying to find where one's better than the other. You can see there's a tiny little dot on the 8 there. I don't know if the surface of the metal wasn't 100% flat there, or something got behind there, but that may be my distinguisher right there. The other thing is I look at the fuel door. So the fuel door on this one is really nice. The other one is a little wrinkled, just a little bit. So yeah, hard to distinguish these two from one another. Okay. All right, so that's that. So Mr. WH, I've got this Brian Blaney Talladega Win Sylvania car for you. Had a little fuzzy on the hood after I painted it, and when I went to peel it off, it pulled some of the paint, so I had to scrape it and get it smooth. But thankfully this is a full hood decal, so you won't see that. So I'm grateful for that. So, but yeah, this is going to work out well. I've had good success with the Trump Gold car. That's up on eBay now. It's ending in a few days, so I'm going to make a second one and make a second chance offer. I got first coat of gold here. I'm going to put a second coat on. Be done with that. Put that second coat on in the morning. I mentioned these two that need the red chrome. Not going to paint that until I get my fan installed. Mr. WH, here's the Dent Wizard Brad Keselowski in the works for you. So that's just got primed. I'm ready for a second coat of white on there. Again, probably paint that in the morning. And then I've got your Alex Bowman Valvoline car here. And we'll use a Kyle Larson DC Solar donor car. And then your other Ryan Blaney, the Dent Wizard Playoffs one that he won at Talladega. So once I get that, those are your 5 cars basically, including the Budweiser Dale Jr. car. So I've had a lot of good feedback on the silver zombies, Skittles zombies, I say zombies, but it's zombie, no S, and I'm going to do a green one. And so I'm debating on the kind of green, and so maybe you guys can help me, okay? So I'm looking for a green color. If you can see, there's a little bit of green inside the 18s, right? So you have this, let's turn it sideways here. So you have the white, and you have the black outline, and in between there's a green there. It's kind of like a lime green, okay? So here's my options. Well, I've got a bunch of options, but I'll give you 3, okay? And then you guys tell me which ones you like, all right? I've got this key lime, Rust-Oleum key lime. I've got this Testors Sublime Green. Kind of looks like that. And I'll back it up here in a minute. And then I've had some success with this. It's been a while. But then I have this fluorescent green that I used for a GoDaddy car I did. If you're familiar with the GoDaddy car. So those are the 3. I'm sorry for the lighting. It's a little rough. Rust-Oleum key lime. It's kind of got a yellow tint to it. Tester Sublime Green, or the GoDaddy fluorescent Rust-Oleum green. It's a bright neon color. Again, gonna do a Skittles zombie. Gonna put it up on eBay. You guys give me your thoughts in the comments below, and I will go with the one that is most popular. And appreciate it. Thanks for watching today, guys. God bless. Talk to you soon.